Hey, I'm Lori. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a really fun method with 21-inch mesh. A lot of us have 21-inch mesh kind of hanging around. So this method is actually going to be, we're going to do ruffles with 21-inch mesh. And we're going to be using a method from Julie's Wreath Boutique to fuse it together. I will kind of show you how you can do it if you don't want to do that. But I was thinking this would probably work really well for this method. So I'm going to use a work wreath. So this is just a wreath frame that comes with the ties already on it. Now, if you were going to do it with a Dollar Tree or a different wreath frame, then you would need to put the ties on yourself. So I do 10 on the bottom, 8 on the top. If you're not sure how to do that, I do have a video showing how to add ties to the Dollar Tree wreath, and it is on my channel in the wreath making for beginners. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open these up because when we do get our mesh together, I don't want to have to come back and do this. Okay. So just like we normally do, we're going to pull our mesh out, and I'm going to cut it at 20 inches. So if you want to do an entire wreath, then 20 inches is what you want to cut it at. Because there are 360 inches, and to get 18, cut them at 20 inches. So I'm just going to cut them. There's nothing special about this. I'm just going to cut them using my rotary cutter. It is definitely better than using scissors. For one, it's a lot faster. And the second thing is, it's going to cause a lot less damage to the mesh. So I'll cut this up real quick, and then we'll get started on how we're going to do it. Okay, so to do this, you're going to need a wood burning tool. These are really inexpensive, and it does not take a ton longer to do the mesh, but I do suggest you use something like the Hot Shot to put it on, because it will fall and burn your carpet or you. So only touch the area that is in the plastic. This up here gets hot quick. I like this tip. It has kind of a little hook on it, but any of the tips work. There'll be a link for it in the description. You can get it from Walmart, or you can get it from Amazon. Okay, so it kind of rests down there in the little Hot Shot, and you're going to need a tempered glass cutting board. So there'll be a link in the description for these. I suggest that you get the one that's not textured, because otherwise you would have to flip it over, and then you would have to deal with the little pieces that keep it raised up. So I do suggest that you get just the plain one, non-tempered. I mean, non-textured. Okay, so if you don't want to use the wood burner, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to take your mesh, and you're going to kind of have a little bit of an edge, okay, like this. So you can kind of push it down. All right, because you don't want to see frays. So you see how I kind of have it tucked under here on both sides. It can be a little tricky, so kind of get it together like this, clip it off. That way you can kind of work your way down. I think you see why I would like to try doing the wood burning. Because you really do have to do this, or you're going to see frays on your mesh. All right, so clip. All right. Clip. And clip. All right. Then you're going to fold it in half like that. Then you can take your clips off, and you're going to go right up just like we normally do with a ruffle. Okay, so this is the 21-inch ruffle. The 21-inch ruffle is going to have one that's closed, one that's open. So then you're going to take your wreath frame and you're going to put it down just like we normally do, right in the middle. And so what I normally do is I will alternate. So on this side, I'm going to put an open end. On this side, I'm going to put a closed end. And then you'll get more of the ruffle effect. Okay, let's do one using the wood burner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip it over like this. Get my ends together. Then I'm going to take my wood burner and I'm just going to go right down and fuse them together. So this is going to be a huge time saver. Don't think my tool was quite ready, but all right, so look this. Okay. We're going to do that again. You'll see it better, but as you can see, it is now fused together. Okay, so it's not going to fray. It's not going to look bad. All right, let's do the other side. Okay. Just like that. Now both sides are fused, so I can just flatten it. I'm going to fold it over, just like this, and I'm going to go straight up the center. Okay, so you can see I now have my open end and my closed end. But I like this better because I actually have kind of two pieces of my closed end, so it looks more like an actual ruffle. And you don't have to tuck it under because you don't have to worry about it fraying. So let's do that a couple more times so that you can see it again. But you see, since these are open, there's two pieces of it instead of just one piece. I think it looks a lot more like an actual ruffle. So this is just doing this method in a different way. Okay, so normally we fold it like this and do it up, but what we're doing is we're folding it top to bottom. Okay, and we're welding the edges together. Julie's Wreath Boutique has a lot of different examples of fusing mesh together. If you want to see some others, okay, I believe the Noble Touch does as well. So I got this end. Let's do this end. I'm just taking off not even maybe 1/4 of an inch. So it's really not going to make any significance with the ruffle. Okay. This mesh has the little snow edge in it, but you can see you can still use the fuse technique with this, even with the little snow. Okay, now we're going to fold it in half. Okay, go right up the center, and there we have. See how we have two pieces here? All right, we go. We put it down. Now, doesn't that look like a ruffle? I think that looks like a ruffle. And since it's doubled up, it's much thicker, and so it's really going to cover the frame very well. Okay, so let's do it one more time, and then I'll do the bottom. And we're going to do the top the same way, but I will show you at least one or two just to kind of go over it again. Okay, so top to bottom, right? So you have your finished edges top to bottom. Okay, just kind of line it up. And then you just want to go in a couple. Okay. Let the wood burner do its little tricks. Just remember, always use the tempered glass because it will burn everything. It will burn your table, it will burn you, it will burn your mat. So just make sure you pick up one of these and you should be good to go. See how I just go over just a little bit, pull it down. So it's singeing those edges and fusing it together. So you can see it's almost like a pocket. Okay, then we fold it up so we'll have our wood burnt edge to wood burnt edge. And then we just make our little ruffle. Okay, so you can see 2 on this side and 2 on this side. Okay, so I'll finish doing these. And I do pull them up and have them kind of go against each other, but you can see the difference. Okay, so this is the normal way it's done. This is the fused way. So you can see, I think it looks way more like a ruffle. Okay, so I finished the bottom. I did want to give you a couple of extra tips. Okay, so when you meet the 2 finished edges together, flip it over and fuse starting at your folded end. It makes it easier. Just come in a little bit. Just take your time going down. If you see any edges that you don't like, just run back over them. There we go. Okay, let's do the other side. I think this works a lot better. So if I see any edges sticking out, I just kind of run my little tool right past it. Okay. This seems to work a lot better than starting from the bottom. All right, so folded edge. Just go in a couple. So I go in about this much and then run it down. That works very well. So you can see how I have a few that have little edges. I just run the burner down it and that gets rid of those. All right, so second tip, when you fold it over, you're going to make the ruffle from the fused edge. So you want to make the ruffle from the edge where you fused it. So you just go straight up making your ruffle. Okay. And then we're going to put it on the top just like we did on the bottom. But look how pretty this is coming out. I love it with this mesh. This mesh is so pretty. Okay, so let's do one more. All right. So flip it over, get it lined up. Go from the folded edge. See, and I go in just a couple, just a little. Don't stress if it's not perfectly straight. You're not going to be able to tell. Okay. Okay. Same thing on the other side. Now, if you have a bag sealer, you could do the same exact thing with your bag sealer. You would just fold it over and then put it in the bag sealer. I do think the bag sealer takes a little longer. But it is an option. Okay. So fold it over. Go to the fused edge, and this time I'm going to use my tool. So I'm just going to load it in my tool and then just go straight up. Okay. Pull it out. So you definitely can use the tool with the 21-inch mesh. I kind of wanted to show you both ways. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the top, and then I'll come back and we'll finish this up. Okay, so we completed it. So let's take a look at it. I think it looks so pretty. Look at that. See how full that is? That just looks so pretty. I especially love it with this mesh, but this is a super cool method. Okay, now we're going to add some ribbons and our wreath attachment. So I made this wreath attachment for my design group, and I thought it would look so cute in here, and I think it really does. Okay, so I have a few little Valentine's ribbons here. I think we'll do these two and do these two. So I'm going to do 12-inch ribbons. Okay. I think I'm only going to do the bottom because the wreath attachment is pretty large, and I think it would overshadow ribbons on the top. So we'll do 12-inch. So we'll need 5. We may do a couple up top. We'll see. Okay, I do want to dovetail them, so I just fold them in half and cut up towards the wired edge, just like that. I like to do mine 2 at a time. It just saves time. Okay, so now we're going to take our ribbons and we're just going to alternate. So let me put this guy aside. So we just take it, fold it in half, pinch it in the middle, and then I like to run my hands under it, and we'll tie it in. And then I just tend to kind of twist my ties together, like that. Okay. There we go. Just going to go all the way around, alternating the ribbon tails. And then we'll do the same thing on the top. Okay, I'm going to do the top as well. So if it does kind of cover it up, I think that'll be okay. I'm going to spread them out. We may have to move them a little bit when we put our little guy on, or our little girl. So we've gotten all the ribbon on, and just a couple things to note. The mesh is lifted up against each other. Just kind of pull back like this, just to make sure it's going to stand up. The ribbons on the top I spread out, and the ribbons on the bottom I tend to keep together. Now you can spread them out once you get everything on, but while you're putting the top on, they will tend to want to crush down, so I don't generally do anything until the end. I do have some fun things to put in it. I have some of these really cute hearts from the Dollar Tree. So those are so cute. I think we're just going to use the pink and the red, and of course this. So as you can see, it has two places where it has the ties in the back, and the back and the front are covered. The instructions included the shoes, the arms, and everything. I did make this exclusively in my design group, so if you wanted to learn how to make wreath attachments, you can join to do that. You can watch them on Facebook or on YouTube. Not both, but you can do one or the other. If you want to join it on YouTube, you just go to the memberships on my channel. Okay, so I'm going to take this top tie. I'm just going to go around. This is an extra long pipe cleaner. I'm going to go around here. Okay, so you can see where I'm going to tie it right here. And I could actually probably tie the bottom from here as well. So you always want to go to the frame. That's why I'm using extra long pipe cleaners. Okay, like that. So I'll just tuck it in. All right. Okay. Oh, he is so cute. All right. So I might need to adjust a few ribbons around him. Okay. Then we'll put in some of the cute little hearts. There we go. Okay, there. All right. Oh my gosh, is he cute. Okay, so let's get our little hearts out. I did see the Dollar Tree also has some little cupcakes as well. Those are cute. You could use something like that. Any candy related things they have up there. But I really kind of wanted to stick with hearts because that's kind of the theme of this. Alright. Okay, I'm just going to trim all these off because I certainly don't need this much. I only need a couple inches. When I do my ties, I tend to do them so that they end up in a little circle, and then I can take any little embellishments and I can glue it into that little circle because it's going to glue to the actual tie itself. That's what it'll stick to. So I just get some glue on it and I put it right through that hole and make sure it's in there. I may have to adjust my ribbons a little. So I'll kind of alternate. See how I just kind of put it right down in there. I will be making more wreath attachments this year. That's one of the things that I'll be adding into my group, just to give people additional options of things to make and of course things to sell. There we go. Okay, then we'll put a few up here. There we go. Oh my gosh, let's look at this. It's so cute. There he is. Okay, you can see that it's not going to come off. Look how cute that is. So you would never know this is 21-inch mesh, would you? Isn't he adorable? Okay, so let's make a bow. I'm not going to put a bow on the wreath, but just to have a bow. Okay, so we're going to start with this really pretty one. Let's do about a 12-inch tail, and I'll go ahead and dovetail it. So pick it up, fold it in half, and cut up towards that wired edge. Okay, so 12-inch. So I put them down sideways in the bow maker, and then I twist on the side that I'm going to be making the loop. You can go down to the place that you want to start your loop or the length of your loop. You can actually put your finger there if you're worried about it getting off. Okay, and then I go sideways again, and I twist. So this side stays the same. This side twist over. So you can see it's on the wrong side. This is the right side. So again, go down, twist on this side. Okay. So you just keep doing this over and over. I'm going to make 3 at this size. Okay, so on the last one, you don't twist it. You just put it down, pull it out, trim off, and dovetail. Okay. All right. So see, these are all 6-inch loops. Let's do 2 of this one. So I can measure out my tails maybe a little bit longer just because I tend to curl these. Okay. Then I'll do 6-inch again. And what I can do is either kind of hover over and see where that 6-inch is, or I can measure it to the other loops. Again, we twist in the middle. On the side, we're going to be making the loop until we get to the last one, and then we don't twist. We just pull it out. Okay. Trim it off. Okay, and we're going to put 1 loop of this in. Alright. So we did 3 loops at 6, 2 loops at 6, now we're doing 1 loop. Okay. So I only had to twist this one once. Okay. Then I can put a little bit of pink on top. So probably like an 18-inch tail. I'm going to make these a little bit smaller. So maybe like 5 inches or 4.5. And so it's harder to see the board. So what I can do is pull these up and make sure they meet in the middle. And I'm going to do 3 loops of this. So the tails will end up being on the same side, but that's okay. We can move them. Okay. Then I'm going to get a zip tie. I'm going to run it under one side, all the way under. Make sure you're under all the ribbon. Just get it started and then use that to pull it out of the bow maker. Okay, then you want to hold it lightly on one side and slide that zip tie around. Okay, and then what I do is I tend to flatten it and make sure that zip tie is in that channel from the bow maker. And I'll start to tighten it. I'm just rechecking. Before it's completely tight, I want to put my pipe cleaner, wire, zip tie, whatever you want to use under it. And then I'm going to tighten it up really well. Okay. So if you do it this way, your loops should come out the same size. The trick is to make sure that they stay in that channel. Okay, then I'm going to pull my ribbons apart. This is part of my fluffing process. Okay, so pull them apart. Basically get them where you want them. You see how having the 3 in the middle is really cute? Okay, then I'll just kind of hold it and start twisting. So all you're doing is breaking it from the center and allowing it to fluff out fuller. Now if you used a zip tie, it's not going to come loose. Don't be afraid to do this step. It does make a big difference in how your bow looks. There we go. So if you see any little pieces that are kind of stuck down in there, just pull them out. Doing that fluffing is going to allow you to pull those out. Okay, just like that. Now, I can curl this up using my thumbs. So I just put my thumb inside here and I just kind of walk it up using my thumbs. You can use a dowel if that's easier. I find this to be pretty easy. Then you just pull it out lightly. Okay. There we go. There. And I can trim off my zip tie. And I have my bow. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so you can see our wreath in the back, and here is our bow. How cute is that? So see, you could put it down here, but I really don't want to cover his legs, so I'm just going to leave this separate. So we usually put one on our mailbox or on the rocking chair on our front porch. So I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. And if you want to know when I'm going live or uploading new content, make sure you hit that bell icon so that you'll be notified when I am going live or I've uploaded something new. All right, y'all have a great one. Thank y'all so much for watching. Bye, y'all.